Welcome to Comics, Games, and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Cosmic Comic, Games, and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Jason Hunt here, inviting you to join us every Saturday morning for news, the week's headlines in science fiction, fantasy, horror, comic books, video games, plus Comic-Con updates and the weather, and the occasional interview along the way. We call it Good Morning Multiverse. We hope you join us every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, right here on Sci-Fi for Me TV.
I'm award.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, the guy who doesn't let videos finish before he clicks something else. But that's okay, because I think you were just going to introduce yourself, and that would kind of be redundant now to do it here. So let's take care of this here. Nandor Fox Shaffer on the show tonight, folks. Please give him a warm welcome.
Oh my gosh, all the applause.
Yes, this is YouTube here. We got to go with sound effects that we can.
Yeah, we need like a clap track and a laughing track and stuff.
Oh, yeah, and now that StreamYard has actually given us sound options. Oh, okay. Ferb, I know what I'm going to do tonight. Put some stuff in there. How are you been, man? You've been cranking out some books.
Yeah, no, I've been really busy. At least I feel like I've been busy. And the hardest thing about making comics is you're always working on something and you always want to show people, but you have to really, for me, you have to plan it out in such a way that you kind of don't get ahead of yourself. When it comes to all the projects that you're working on and announcements and things that you would love to talk about. So there's always something going on, always something that I'm working on. But my newest thing that is ready to be created and put out into the hands of everyone is the next issue of Manchild. So yeah, I'm really excited about this book. I've been working on it for a while. We fulfilled the first issue last year and got really good reception for it. And I'm really excited to get this next book into people's hands and see where the story goes.
Now, I remember the first issue, and I recall that you said you were inspired to write this when the news came down that Stan Lee had died.
Correct. Yeah. He this book, this story was like a grieving process for me and trying to do something in his honor, something that kind of upheld his legacy and the work and kind of his life. I did a lot of research and read a few biographies on Stan and was able to kind of conjure up this story that I felt was a great blend of modern sensibilities, but kind of brought the classic back into modern day and kind of help readers to like rediscover what makes Silver Age storytelling and the way comics used to be told, the way superhero stories used to be told, kind of bringing that back to them, and hopefully they find something really attractive about it.
Yeah. Now, having read some of the panels, I haven't read the whole thing through. Obviously, there's just what's released. You're taking different slices of Silver Age comics, because Silver Age comics is a big bucket.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's all kinds of stuff that happened. I mean, the EC horror, not the EC horror, the DC horror line happened then. Obviously, SpiderMan, the Stan Lee influence. But you can see through here sort of this blend that you're taking of Spider-Man angst and the young romance kind of angle, and putting that all into a sort of metafictional story, which is happening inside a larger story, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's like a crossover. I half expected a Last Action Hero scene to burst out of this at some point. And I think the cover sort of alludes to that as well. But we'll only go with what you tell us.
Yeah, a few people have brought that to my attention and are really curious to know if there's a crossover, and it's like, I don't know how else to put it except there is, but probably not in the way that you think. So it's there's definitely a mystery. That's sort of a hook of the book that I try to get people interested in, is the idea that these two worlds are colliding in some form, and that's the mystery, and figuring out how this is working and what the two have in common, why we're reading these two stories at the same time.
Okay. In the chat, we have Woody. Woody, welcome. It's a hot welcome from Woody. Thank you for being there. Appreciate it. Mike Walters has dropped in to share and say hi, and we always appreciate people sharing the streams. Again, not for me. I don't need the views. I'm not living on my podcast, but our guests need to have as much exposure as possible. So please do share it so that your friends will see what they're making and decide for themselves to possibly jump in on this. So when I talk about the outer story and inner story, the story, the framework for the whole thing. I mean, the story is about a real world, so to speak, comic book geek. He's a fan. There's no superheroes in his world. It's as grounded as you can possibly get. And he's going to the superhero movies. He's collecting the comics. And in issue 1, he gets the phone call that Stan Lee had passed away, and it really impacted him.
Right.
And his connection to the superhero fictional universe is this superhero whose name I'm never going to remember because I keep wanting to call him the Monarch.
Well, that's half of it. So you got half of it, but yeah, the Monarch Crier. Yeah.
Yes. I keep stopping with that Venture Brothers villain.
Yeah, right.
Because, he's got big monarch butterfly wings, and it's just not what you expect for a masculine superhero because those things are fragile. And in fact, we even see in panels for the second issue here how they're ragged and ripped, and they're not titanium glider alloy stuff.
Right. And that was definitely a conscious decision. I wanted to kind of make people turn their heads a little bit and go, how does this work, and what is so threatening about a butterfly superhero, and really there isn't, but there is, as you get into the story and you figure out more about his abilities and who he is and what he's able to do, and kind of also going back to that underdog, like you underestimate this superhero, just like a lot of the villains underestimate the heroes they fight in the Silver Age comics and just in comics in general. And so it's something that I really wanted to bring to the forefront for the character.
Now, in this second issue, and I'm not sure if you did it in the first, I will find out, because this is the point in the campaign where I'm like, okay, I can go back and get issue 1 and issue 2.
Yeah.
And I'm at a point, a long time ago, I was talking to all you guys, but I couldn't afford your books because I was going through some stuff. But that's all ironed out now, and I've been getting a lot of books lately. I started looking at my finances like,
that's
really?
awesome.
That much is going towards campaigns, huh? Okay, well, I'm not starving to death, so
I gotta look at your checkbook a little closer.
Yeah, look at the checkbook, look in the fridge, make sure that the calendar's got a payday coming up. But I don't recall the last time you introducing other superheroes into the Monarch Criers universe, and it looks like you are this time through the movie aspect of this. And we can see, one of the guys is cosplaying
the Condor Archer.
Condor. I was trying to think what bird it was. I knew it was Archer. I just couldn't think which one it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's actually so what's really cool that you'll see as you read the comic, there are little Easter eggs and things that allude to things, characters, places, events that Stan Lee either created or was a part of. And the Condor Archer is actually sort of a little nod to this animated film that I was watching when I grew up, called The Condor, and it was created by Stan Lee. So it had Stan Lee Presents The Condor, and it was this movie that I would watch as a kid. So it's kind of a little nod to that. And there's other things that we'll see in the preview pages for this next issue that the movie theater they're going to is called Baxter Theater, and that's a little nod to the Baxter Building from the Fantastic Four. So I try to put a few things here and there that Marvel fans and people that are fans of Stan Lee and his characters would notice. Kind of a little reward for people that are diehard fans.
I actually have that Condor DVD in my collection. And he did another one, I think, called Mosaic.
He did. That's right. Yeah.
I don't know if he did any more, but he was definitely doing this whole Stan Lee presents new universe of stuff.
Yeah.
But didn't quite. I
It didn't
remember I
quite
talked with him.
go to
Yeah,
new heights or anything.
it
Yeah.
wasn't the next Spider-Man. Um,
Right.
but I remember talking with him, and this was around the time that Hulk was a movie,
Mm.
and Stripperella was on television. Stripperella, another Stan Lee creation with Pamela Anderson. And and
That's
and I
right.
just remembered
I
because I was
remember
like,
that.
yeah, I was like, oh, sorry to hear about Stripperella being canceled because I just heard it that morning. He's like, what? What do you mean canceled? No, it's the greatest thing. I tell him, like, okay, well, maybe I misheard. But no, I was just ahead of the curve. No one had told
Like,
him yet that it was
don't kill the
canceled.
messenger, Stan.
Yeah. So, but I've got that on tape somewhere. I have to find it. It was a moment. You talk with Stan Lee, you're never going to forget it.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That's so cool. That's so neat.
So let me make some adjustments to the viewing here so that I can bring up the campaign. This is the campaign, folks. We are at $1,998 of a $4,500 goal. 25 days to go. I know it's a long time, but this is Kickstarter. There's not an extension beyond that, folks. So let's try to get this thing as close to goal as possible so that the rest of it's a coast. That would be great.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Right off the bat, I freaking love this cover. This is harkening back to that whole true romance kind of genre again. You got a sort of a 70s grindhouse feel to it. And it's that universe crossover. She's holding the Monarch Criers costume there. And coming through the door is Rufus. Rufus,
yeah.
the real world fictional guy. Who, he can't believe this because, well, for multiple reasons, possibly. For one thing, it looks like he may have just entered the fictional universe. And I know that there are people I talk with who have often concerned themselves with, what if I could enter that fictional universe and how would I interact with people? Mike Walters, this might be the book for you. So hang in there on this one. So this is a provocative cover. I mean, the positioning and the costume covering,
Yeah.
not naked, but it's still a provocative cover. What's going on here? What does this tell from the story, if anything?
Yeah, well, I wanted aesthetically, I thought it would be really fitting for us to kind of take the old pinups of the 60s, 70s and kind of have our own little spin on it. And I've always really enjoyed kind of the classic retro style of pinups that they would do back then, and it was always very kind of classy to me. And I wanted to kind of have this image. It plays with too. It kind of calls back to what happens in issue 1. So this is Rufus who barges in on. This is Joanne, who is the Monarch Crier's love interest in the story, and he vanishes in the first issue. And so she's holding his costume, and it's kind of like this, like she's, where could he be? She's saying that, like, my hero, where could he be? And Rufus is barging in, and Rufus is the guy who wants to be a hero. He wants to be a superhero. He looks up to, he's inspired by all of the heroes that he grew up with, and so he's kind of the stand-in for us as the reader who love all the characters we grew up with.
Yeah,
And
because when
so,
we grew up, being a superhero was a valid career option.
yeah, it was. It was like, the greatest thing ever. And it's some wish fulfillment in there. It's like, if you could be Superman and be with Lois Lane, or if you could be Spider-Man and be with Mary Jane, it's like, so it's playing with that and really having fun with it.
Who did this? Is I don't know who Flop's comic is as a artist. I mean,
He's follow him on Twitter. He does such good pinup work with different female superheroes, and he's such a great artist. He like, I've been, every time I go on my Twitter feed and I see his art, it always just is like really refreshing because he just has a very signature style. So like
Yeah.
when you see it, you're like, oh, that's flops, And he was a lot of fun to work with. What was really cool about this too is he had been working on it for a while, and it was the day that we were about to launch, and I was like, hey, we're about to launch like today, today is the day. And he's like, I'll get it, I'll finish it. And he finished it like an hour before we went live. So it was just like, perfect timing, but I was pulling out my hair a little bit.
The coloring on it too is just superb. The shading all through it's well shaded, and yet at the same time it has that same four color offset look to it.
Yeah, right, right.
70s had.
And it has like that kind of grainy filter to it. It like you can feel that in your hands, the way that the kind of the newsprint, or the way that like older magazines used to be.
Of course, that is one cover. You have the other cover here by Jim Rugg as a variant cover, and this is David and Goliath if I ever saw it. I mean,
Yeah, right.
you've got your butterfly going against a giant robot.
Yeah, that's again, that goes back to the underdog, and that's kind of the main characteristic for the Monarch Criers. Him having just these butterfly wings, and also he does have a vocal amplification device on him that allows him to basically emit like the sonic scream, something akin to it. But I wanted this like really menacing image, and this like where they're about to meet each other in combat, and have the sense of scale that we have with this. And
Jim
Jim
Rugg,
Rugg,
say the sense of scale is just phenomenal on this.
yeah, yeah, Jim Rugg is amazing. I don't know if you ever watched the Cartoonist Kayfabe YouTube channel at
I'm
all,
familiar with it, but I'm not a perpetual watcher of it.
yeah, he's a
Haven't subscribed to
co-host
about
on
1,000
there.
shows.
Yeah, yeah. He's a co-host on there, and him and Ed Piskor do videos daily, and they talk about process, and they go over a lot of classic comic book stories. And it's my favorite like comic book channel about process, and the way that artists kind of work on a page, and the collaboration between writers and artists. So he's a really nice guy, a really amazing artist, and he did it all. He did the pencils, inks, colors, lettering for that page, for that cover.
And then Marco Rudy has got he's challenging channeling his inner Vincent Van Gogh on this.
He is, yeah. No, he's a very abstract painter. He did some great work with Scott Snyder on the New 52 Swamp Thing, and he also did some Winter Soldier, Scarlet Witch for Marvel recently. But he's a traditional painter. This is traditionally painted, so no like digital effects or anything. He is just an extraordinary artist, and I've always wanted to work with him for the longest time. And we finally found the right timing to do something together. And so we have the Monarch Criers. He's like screeching out into the waves, and the waves are like bending to his scream there. And we have his wings like basically set aflame behind him, and it really just puts together this really striking image.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous. And then of course this is yet another cover. This is the standard cover.
Yeah, that's the main cover. Yeah,
James Bizarre, and this is the whole. This is the throwback to The Last Action Hero. If you remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger
yeah,
film.
yeah. I
That's
love
the
that
one.
movie. I watched it
I
all
did
the
too.
time. Yeah,
I-
yeah. Shane Black. That's one of my favorite Shane Black films.
Oh, did he do that? I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah. That was his.
Okay. 'Cause, for those who don't know Shane Black, he did Iron Man films for Marvel, and supposedly is going to do a Destroyer film, but
Yeah.
Predator apparently didn't go as well as it was supposed to, so he's kind of pulled back on stuff. But yeah, we've got you got Rufus and his buddies here watching the film, and Monarch Crier is coming out of the film. He's coming out of the screen, so you've got
Yeah,
that
he's
whole dimensional
sl-
connection thing happening. Well, if
right.
that really
Yeah.
happens in the story, it could be metaphorical, but
Right, right. And yeah, this is one of my favorite scenes in the second issue, because they're about to see this movie, and they they're ready for the film to start, and it starts, and they it it's like the perfect for me as a writer. It was a perfect transition moment to go back to where we left off with the Monarch Crier in the last issue, because it's like as the reader, you're being transported just like Rufus is into this other world, and so that's what we do here.
I do like the theater setting here. Like you said, it's the Baxter Theater, so it's going to harken back to the Baxter Building. Um, nice little fourth wall breaking moment here, where you got the credit
Yeah.
used as the marquee signs here. And I don't know, is this set right now, or is this? I guess it is set right now because it is parallel to Stanley's passing.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is set right now. But it definitely has like that classic sensibility to it, like a old timey theater.
Yeah,
We wanted something that that's something that I really like about Jay's work. Jay Mazar's work is, even though we're in the modern day, it still like feels like classic and kind of vintage and retro, and that really lends itself so that when you are switching between storylines, it's not as jarring, to go from one to the next. And that's
sure.
something we wanted. We wanted everything to feel the same, the same enough so that it just has this cohesive nature to it.
I just didn't know if people still stood in line to be first for a movie in the past 10 years.
They
with
do. At
story.
least I do. In my experience, I remember waiting for some of the new Star Wars films, or like Endgame or Infinity War, and having to stand outside. So it's yeah, it still happens.
Do the whole camp out thing. Um,
Right.
okay, so before I scroll off of this page, let's dig into the actual chapter heading here, the story title.
Yeah.
1 Corinthians 13:11. I have not got that committed to memory, but I'll probably recognize it when I hear it, I hope. So what's going on in there?
Yeah, so I don't remember the verse exactly, just word for word, but it basically is the Apostle Paul writing to the Corinthians and saying something akin to um uh when you were but a boy, you did or but a child, you did childish things, and when you were uh
When I became a man, I
younger,
put away
but
childish
and
things.
you need to put away these childish things for this new path that you have set out for you. So I thought it was one of those, just like thematically just really fit the kind of uh nature that I was going for with the series, and I thought it would get people to dig a little bit and to ask
Yeah,
questions, and so I like doing that.
it's a fitting title. Um, we I laughed at this first scene here because you got Joe Cool basically propped up against the wall, like, "Oh,
Right.
you're gonna go see the Mighty Upholders," which is obviously an Avengers. You're like, "No, I'm here for the
Yeah.
My Little Pony movie." It's a brony. Uh,
Yeah, and just so you know, that is basically scene for scene, word for word of what happened to me one time. So
were
this
you
is
seeing the
drawing.
movie or were you walking past the guy?
I was walking past the guy, yeah. But I remember I was like, "Hey," like I was just making conversation. I was like, "Are you gonna see the new, superhero movie, whatever it was at the time?" And he was like, "No, I'm here to see the new, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic film or something." And I was like, "All right, well, good luck with that, man."
And your little girl's in the bathroom? I mean,
Right, right. That's what I kept thinking. I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna enjoy my superhero movie."
yeah, but I've had the same thoughts, when I think about this, I'm like, "Yeah, it's not weird or sketchy."
Yeah.
Um, but but I love this panel structure here where it you could have just kept it one big panel at the bottom and like just read it across, but having the gutter breaks there really gives a focus to each of their dialogue bubbles. So you don't have
Yeah,
just like a
it
bunch of guys, you
helps.
got four distinct people.
Right, right, and, it's all about, kind of pacing there too. I'm glad you pointed that out, because, that was, a point of, question that Jay and I had when we were working on this page, because it was just one image, and then we were talking about it, and we were like, I think it would, land better, like, the execution of it would be better and more fitting for all the dialogue to be kind of split up. And once I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's perfect because it gives each character their own moment, and I really liked how it turned out there.
Yeah, you made the right call on that one. And then I'm not sure how much of the movie has happened here, but let's, I mean, because we go straight into this. Is this the next page?
It is,
Okay,
yeah.
because uh, it just seems like the movie starts right here. Then,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where as you're reading it, I think it'll, have a better maybe landing there. But yeah, there, you see the projector start above Rufus in the last page, in that last panel there, and so they're ready for the movie to start. And then we transition in, and as the narration box says, we are, however, like genuine follower, we're in for an alternative show, and that is with the Monarch Crier. So it's uh, not like they're watching a Monarch Crier film, but they're about to engage in this fantasy, just as we are about to engage in it.
and this, I believe that the what we're seeing on the projected screen here sort of takes interconnects with what we saw in the first issue that was a comic book story.
Exactly. So, yeah, we pick up right where we left off, and at the end of issue one, and Monarch Crier is stranded on this uh, isolated island that Professor Pilgrim has taken for himself, and that's the villain there. And he's being holo projected by one of his drones, and so yeah, we just pick up right where we left off, and the Monarch Crier is being told by Professor Pilgrim that the love of his life has been killed, and that he is, in for a rude awakening for what's in store for him on this island.
Even goes so far as to reveal his secret identity, which that was always in the. I feel sorry for Professor Pilgrim because in the Silver Age, unless you were the hero's best friend and discovered it by accident and kept your mouth shut all the time and didn't even tell the hero you knew it, that signed your death warrant.
Yeah,
You were gonna die.
exactly.
A
Yeah.
meteor from space was going to land on your head. Uh,
I know, and that's something that I've missed from modern day superhero comics, and I think there's not enough of, and maybe it's because it was hammered so hard throughout the years and the decades, but I thought, I always loved ha- I always loved the conundrum that the superhero would have to face when it came to their loved ones, and trusting their loved ones with this sort of information, and but not wanting to put them in danger because of it. And that was always something that when it came to secret identities, I really it just screams superhero to me, and it makes me think about my childhood and the superhero stories that I really liked. And when the hero when the villain would find out the secret identity of the hero, it was always like this huge moment for everyone, for the reader and for the hero himself. And
yeah.
um,
Well, that was the whole driving force between Identity Crisis.
yeah, it
Discovered
was totally.
and
Yeah,
that
I
pulled
love
back
that book
from
so
Silver Age.
much. Yeah, I love that
I
book.
did too. Everyone I know hates it, but I'm like, this is one of the best written books that was ever done.
I know. Yeah, it
I,
was like
I
I
know they
thought
hurt
so
Elongated
too.
Man and they got rid of Sue, but they told an important story. Uh,
Yeah, they really did. Like, and the stuff with Tim Drake in that book is just
oh, it's
heartbreaking.
heartrending.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was one of the most beautiful moments between Batman and Tim Drake, and Batman, like knowing what is about to happen, and Batman is driving to save Tim Drake's dad, and Tim Drake, from what's about to happen. And yeah, that's one of those pages and panels that like will forever stick in my mind.
yeah. And I had that Justice League issue. I still have that Justice League issue from the Silver Age, which kicked it all off, which was where the villains swapped minds with the heroes. And
Oh,
I
cool, cool. Yeah.
and I always wondered, yeah, why didn't they just take off the masks instead of going out and committing crimes as the superheroes? It's like first thing I'd have done if I was Batman in his body, I would have just said, "Oh, take a picture. I don't know who
Yeah.
this guy is. I'm gonna check it out."
Right.
And and apparently what was said in the story, Brad Meltzer's story, was they did. They did do that. And
Yeah.
that had to be wiped from their minds, and that's what kicked off the whole downhill struggle of, every time we got found out, we had to, you know, mess with their heads, which didn't bother Doc Savage. I mean, a bunch of his pulp, he developed, he gave surgery to criminals that he caught,
Right.
to give them frontal lobe lobotomies. No one ever questioned that, but we got away with a lot in the Silver Age that now we like. You really couldn't do that.
Yeah, you really can't do that now.
I was like,
Yeah.
you're talking about guys who can fly and do magic, and you're worried about how they treated the bad guys.
Like, these are the bad guys.
Yeah. Now,
So yeah, that's the
this
moment.
was,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
the moment where, yeah, like the Monarch Criers told, Joanne is gone, and he's freaking out. It's like the love of his life is, he's being told that she's dead, and the drone's about to explode, that is heading for him. And it was one of those moments. We took some of like when Spider-Man was remembering like Gwen Stacy and her death, and kind of those profiles of Gwen, and having that sensibility, that Silver Age sensibility, with what Monarch Criers is mourning there.
and I totally saw that when I saw this panel was again the Spider-Man and the
Yeah.
and romance angles of all of that. And again, his wings, I'm like, how are you even flying, dude? Because
Right.
but he's escaped the explosion just in time, dove off, and then bam, runs into something, and I'm like, oh, he's right at the fourth wall. Is what I'm figuring.
Yeah, basically.
But then you pull back, and it's like he's not. He's just in its bubble. I was like, this is the point where he's going to come into the movie theater.
Right. That's so
no,
cool.
this is where we get the big giant robot fight, and
yeah, he emerges from the ocean like a deep sea creature, and starts to attack our hero there. So and how it ends, we'll have to find out. But yeah, that's the end of the preview there. But that's going to be a 2-page splash. That page right there. So
yeah, that'll work perfect. So obviously the Monarch Crier is not the man child. That is Rufus, although they had the same initials, MC. Was that intentional?
You're right. Yeah, good for catching that.
So what story is more important here then? Is it the Monarch Crier story, and Rufus is just like a framework for presenting it, or is it Rufus's story and the Monarch Crier is the focus of the metaphors of his life?
Man, that's a good question. I tried to make both very like extremely important. I mean, I want readers to try to decipher what's going on here. Rufus. It goes back to Rufus is this character who is very kind of stuck in his ways, and he's kind of outgrown himself, just with his age and everything. But he's in this like I guess like cocoon stage, and the Monarch Crier is of course a butterfly, and it's like Rufus wants to be that. He wants to be a hero. He looks up to his heroes, and so they kind of go hand in hand together. And I think by the end of the story, I think readers will find that both are incredibly important to each other. You really can't have one without the other.
Are they both real, or are neither one real? I mean, it is a comic book. We can obviously say that neither one is real, but
Right. You'll find out. You will find out, and you'll get the best glimpse of that in the second issue here. So
okay, because I believe Grant Morrison has espoused that it's all real. that this is really happening on another plane, and we are the gods that control this.
Right.
Is an
Yeah,
interesting
him and Alan Moore. I know they don't. Grant Morrison. He's interesting because he's one of the few people who doesn't like Watchmen. So I'm sure I'm sure Morrison and Moore would have a lot of good conversations, though.
Oh, well, I think they're already in a bit of a feud, um,
Oh, gotcha.
that I've read about, but, just when I say feud, it's like James Fenimore Cooper and Mark Twain were in a feud. They didn't like each other's
Yeah,
writing.
right.
Um, but, yeah, I think I believe that he truly believes that that's his take
Hmm.
on things, whereas Moore's just like a black magician who says, "I just write comics."
Yeah.
Um, so So the rewards on this campaign, you've got start off with the PDFs, which is standard issue, and thankfully, yes, you can catch up with number one on the PDF. I know we have people who watch the show who can only have digital, so that's your option right there. $10 gets you both number one and number two in PDF format, and wonderfully enough, they can be downloaded, and you don't have to go through some other forum with an access key to read it. Some people do that.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it because y'all. I want you guys to succeed, but right now y'all are independent comics makers, and you might decide tomorrow that driving an ice cream truck is far more profitable than making comics, and that portal goes away.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Um, but here's where I did start to dig into it, and that is with the physical rewards. So for $10, you get the standard cover, which is the movie screen cover. Now, if I scroll down here to the side, does that include the PDF? And the answer is yes, it does. I didn't want to overstate anything by accident here just by reading the block itself.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem.
And I did not see this image in a larger style, but if you go for the $15 cover, which is signed, still the standard cover, you're going to get this print of the Monarch Crier.
Yeah, there's a bigger size of it later in the campaign page, but yeah, that was done by Stephen Perkins, and he's just an amazing guy, amazing artist, and it's actually a contestant in our fan art contest that we're having for the issue. So if anyone wants to do fan art for the book, the winner's piece is going to be printed in the second issue. But he sent this to me, and I loved it so much. I was like, I got to use this for something. Like people really need this. I don't want to debate about using this image or not. And I wanted to do something with it, and I thought it'd be a great incentive for people to get this exclusive print that he did for the book.
And this looks like it's done on canvas. I mean, I can see the texturing.
Yeah, it's he's amazing. I don't know how he does it, but he has a really distinct style.
What's the size on this thing? Do you have that printed yet or determined?
No, I don't have it printed yet. Yeah.
I just want to make sure I get the right size frame, if this is where I go.
Right, right. Totally.
And it'll probably be on multiple campaigns because I already see it showing back up again. For the same $15, you can get the Marco Rudy variant cover, which is what I expected to be a print, to tell you the truth. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's going to be a print. Or the Jim Rugg variant cover for $20. And then, then we start to catch up on physicals. You can get 1 and 2, the standard cover of each one. I remember loving that cover of number 1 where
Yeah, when he's sitting on
with
the
the butterfly wings strapped on.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're not a hero. And you can also get physical 1 and 2 signed and get the print, $25. Get your choice of the variant. Retailer bundles. Have these worked for you in the past, or is this your first time going into it?
No, actually, I started doing it the last campaign, and I had a few retailers hop on board for it. So I wanted to bring it back. It's a great way to get your local comic book stores, to get involved with the campaign, and also just other stores that might be interested in supporting indie. I've reached out to other stores, around the U.S. and kind of let them know that this is an option for them, and it's worked out so far.
Very good, very good. Because I love seeing when people put up pictures of their crowdfunded book on the shelf of a
Yeah, yeah, me too, me too. That's always exciting.
I've been privileged enough to do the same thing for a lot of people that we distribute. Cosmic Comics took some, put them. I said, "Can you put them on the shelf so I can take a picture?" He's like, "Yeah,
That's
just put 'em on
cool.
the shelf." He hadn't put them in the inventory yet, but we put them on the shelf so that they would be there. you can get all the covers for number 2. Now, wait a second. What am I missing here? Because I thought there was another cover.
No, so the flops are that's actually a print. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That one's another one that I was hoping was going to be a print as well, because I was like, that's just
Yeah, and that's free for everyone that backs in the first week. You're gonna get that flops print for free. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So that's it's not like a stretch goal, but that is a so you got basically a couple of days left to get this free print if you order now.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. It's only going to be available free for the first week. So if anyone's interested in getting that, it's just, trying to have the best first week we possibly can. And I loved it so much. And I was like, guys, people need this print. So yeah, if you order at a physical reward tier, you'll get that in your package.
So both the prints, are they both going to be the same size? Are they going to be like the size that fits in the back of the comic? Or are they going
Yeah,
to be
that's what
slightly
it's
bigger?
going to be. Yeah. Yeah. They'll fit in the comic. They won't be like oversized or anything.
Okay. So pretty much almost like a 6x9, I guess. No, 6x9 is smaller than that, but a backing board,
Yeah.
basic backing board size. So if you get a comic book frame, and I've got a number of them on the wall to put those prints in, yeah, I'm surrounded by comic book size prints and 6x9 prints. So now I know how to get that picture. For $50, you get a producer credit. Is there any? So that's just that gets your name in the book as well as getting the print and the standard cover. If you like seeing your name in print, there you go. I know a lot of people do the draw-in thing too. Is that something that you ever played with?
Yeah, actually did that for the last campaign, had a few people pledge for that, and we're doing it again for this one too.
So we just haven't got down there yet. This is the one where let's help Nandor clean out his room.
That's
this
right.
is
That's
the
right.
bundle.
Yeah. This is one
gives
where
you-
if you want to learn about, my evolution as a writer and get everything that I've published, you get over 300 pages of comics, 2 of them which are hardcovers, which is Seasons volumes 1 and 2, over 100 pages each, and then Lifeline, which is 96 pages, is a trade paperback graphic novel, which I won the 2021 Indie Vault Award for Best Comic and Best Writer last year, and Man Child Issues 1 and 2. So yeah, you get a lot of bang for your buck with that one.
Oh yeah. I'm intrigued to see more of Seasons too, because I love the concept of that. The guys,
Yeah,
it's a superhero book, but his power changes with the seasons over the course of this year that he's going to go through.
right. Yeah.
This is one of the things about your approach to comics that a lot of people. How to put this without coming across condescending or ostracizing? You write the smart stuff.
I'll take it.
Th-
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
This is not your the Riddler. The Riddler has stolen something from the museum. He left a riddle behind. We have to figure it out. And then it's
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah, it's not surface level stuff, I mean, there's a lot of surface level stuff that's really entertaining, but I really try to make a product that people always want to come back to and kind of read the issue but want to read it again. I don't want people just to pick up volume 1 of Seasons or Man Child issue 1 and put it down and be like, okay, I understand that. Like, I want people to read it and be like, did I miss something? Is there something more here? And there is. Like, that's the thing. Like, there is something more. You're not just like searching for nothing. There's always a little bit of more layers on top of layers.
Yeah, there's precious few comics out there that you read and reread and reread, because
Yeah.
progressive readings get you more. Alan Moore, Jimmy Gownley, those two guys, if you read their stuff over and over again, you definitely see how comics can tell a story while at the same time telling a story.
Yeah.
Like a movie projected on two movies on the same screen,
Right.
and it changes your focus. $100 will get you an original inked sketch by Jay Mazar. So if you
Yeah, and that is an example of what a backer got for the first campaign. So that's you're gonna get a really sleek character art ink sketch, and it can be anyone from the Man-Child book, or it can be your favorite superhero. Jay is open to anything as long as it's not a character that he has to create. So
oh,
just as long as it's an established character, then he
keep it clean,
will.
folks.
Yeah, he will he will ink it for you. So, and it's not just like a little like 5 by 7 sketch either. I mean, it's a full page ink sketch, so it's
Oh,
it's
so
it's
like
really
on
worth it.
actual blue board,
Yeah.
the big ones. Okay, cool. $100. Considering that you're getting the signed cover, your name in the book, and the art print, um, that's a heck of a deal for collectors. You get into that. 150. Now you're getting into the all that all the same stuff. You're getting a sketch still with the 150, and you're getting drawn into the book.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to assume it's probably in the crowd of the theater somewhere here, but it could be somewhere different. Now, this is one I know a lot of people are huge collectors of original art, and this is something that are all your pages done traditionally, or is it like
They
do
are.
some
Yep.
traditionally and do some? Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
you
I mean, except the colors, the colors are digital, but when it comes to the pencils and inking, it's all traditional. Jay does all traditional. So
Jay is smart because if you go to conventions and you have digital artwork, you can't sell that.
right, no, no. And even if you did, it would be prints and it wouldn't be
Not
with
nearly as
original
demanding.
art you can make more money, for
Yeah,
sure.
you can command a higher price. You can
Yeah.
still make prints because you did scan it to color it. So
Yeah, yeah, right.
this is again the larger version of that print that we keep
Yeah,
seeing
and
show
so
up in the
you
theater.
can you can add on that print if you want. If you pick one of the tiers, like all of the covers, and you want to add on that print to that order, you can do that. So you can do that, and then we have all of the variant covers from issue 1 back. So if you want to add on one of those for the add-on section to your order, then you can do that.
Okay, so these are the add-ons from the first campaign. Oh, I forgot you had Tony Harris do a cover. Holy shit!
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, that is just a beautiful cover. It's one of my favorites. I actually have it. I can um, show it to you on camera here. So
Look at that. That is just gorgeous.
yeah,
You're really putting. I mean, this is not funded yet. You're putting your own money out on this stuff,
oh
and
yeah,
reaching out
yeah.
to.
I really am. I mean, I'm putting as much as I'm getting back. I'm putting in. I mean, everything that I get, I'm putting back into the book, and I'm hiring artists that I've loved forever, and are just like really quality people.
Yeah,
It's not just anybody. It's Tony Harris. It's Jim Rugg. It's Nick Pitaro, who worked with Hickman on Manhattan projects for Image Comics. It's
yeah.
a
Top
lot
tier
of
talent.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, so you got some stretch goals. We have not hit them yet, unless they're counting up backwards. No, they're not. Okay. Um, this is this 6 a.m. comics.
No, it's actually a friend of mine. It's Abstracto Illustrations. So
Okay.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm
He
just seeing 6 a.m. do the chibi stickers for a lot of
right,
people.
right. Yeah. Yeah, he's a big fan of like Scotty Young and the chibi art and stuff. So
Yeah.
he wanted to do something for the campaign, and I was like, this is the perfect sticker. This is going to be a sticker for all the backers if we reach the stretch goal. So
And
I'm really
it's the
happy
giant
with it.
robot with a fly swatter coming out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. At 6,500, there will be a man-child pin. Um, no image for that yet, but are we talking like this kind of a pin, or are you talking more of a die cut structure?
More of a die cut. I want to do something die cut. I'd really like to do that. If
I
you know,
love those two. They got the little pin on the back, and then you just kind of poke it through.
yeah, yeah.
Mine are on my jacket, or I would pull them up. $7,500 trading card, and at 10,000, that you're going to expedite the shipping, so it'll jump up from media to priority.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. We'll
Which
get the books. We'll get the books faster from the printer, and we'll send them out to you faster too. So what's really cool about that, if we get 10 grand, is not only do we get the option for a T-shirt, but yeah, expedited shipping. So we're really unlocking two stretch goals at once and making that 10,000 really worth something and go into the book.
exactly, and of course, you know, let's be clear. Once you've added the T-shirt, you didn't have a choice but to go to the expedited shipping.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
left the world of
totally.
media mail. Um, but that's a good reason why to have the T-shirt at that high of a level, so that you do have the funding in
Hmm.
reserve to make that bump up. Because it's like, ah, it's almost the same if it was just the comic. It's like 50 cents more to go priority, but then when you throw the T-shirt in it, you get that extra half a pound of weight.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at close to 5.5 to $7 for priority shipping. Might even still be able to get first class shipping,
Hmm.
but either way, it's faster than media. Um, Media mail, I still cringe about it.
Hmm.
Um, Sending out one item, because like, if when I'm sending out a box of items, I'm less concerned about it because they're going to keep them all together.
Yeah.
But if you take a media item and you don't have it in a Gemini mailer, first of all, shame on you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Right.
but but they've explained it to me. It's like, we have a big, and they showed me the big fabric bucket on wheels in the back. It says anything that's media mail is going to get thrown in that bucket, and they mean thrown in that bucket. So
Yeah.
here's your comic book, and it gets thrown in here, and somebody comes in with 80 pounds of encyclopedias.
Yeah. It's going on your
It's
comic.
going, yeah. So just stay up at nights, creators, and worry about this potential hazard that could happen to your shipping. We do our best to secure it, but just saying, they can do things, which means they will do things.
Yeah.
Um, I like this. His letter or picture is just bar graph. It's what was it? It's not Mandelbrot. Mondrian lines. Mondrian
Hmm.
lines. Um, why back it? Because it's a cool book, guys. It's
Yeah. I mean, we've explained why you should back it.
and somebody has. Somebody
Oh,
has backed it.
excellent. Awesome.
So
Someone's backed the book.
yes, that allows us to have our shake and bake moment. I don't know if we had a shake and bake moment the last time you were on, um, but if you did, you'll probably remember it goes something a little like
It's
this.
shake and bake, and I help.
So, so thank you to whoever was out there in the chat who decided to get on this project and back it. That's 74 backers, uh, almost halfway to goal now.
Yeah, I'm like I said at the top of the show, I'm really excited about this launch because it's only been 4 days, and we're already almost halfway there. And this has been the strongest Kickstarter campaign that I've had from the outset. So I'm really, really excited about this. And to be honest, I was surprised. I was like, wow, like you always worry if people are going to come back. I get people taking a chance on the first issue because they're like, okay, it's the start of something new, but then when they get it, and if they don't like it, then they're not going to come back. So to see all of these returning backers and new readers rediscover this for the first time is really exciting to me.
That's when you know that you've struck a chord with people when they're coming back for the second and the third book.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
how many books do you see this being? I mean, this is very much a finite tale. I don't see this being an ongoing kind of thing.
Hmm. Right. Yeah. No. It's going to be 6 issues, and I've scripted them, and I know where the story's going. I know the ending of it, and yeah, we're just trying to get this book out as quickly as possible and get the entirety of it out. So altogether, it's going to be probably around 120 to 140 pages by the time everything's done. So.
That'll make a hefty trade paperback
Yeah.
after the sixth issue is out. Are you going to do that separately? Or are you going to say sixth issue or trade paperback all in the same campaign?
Yeah, I'll probably try to put it together. I think that's a really great way to get new people. But and all of my other books have been graphic novels previously, so it doesn't feel too out of my wheelhouse to do that. But we'll just have to see when the time comes and what kind of budgeting we're looking for it.
All right, cool. Nandor, top of the hour. We've gone through the whole campaign. I'm excited about the book. I want to read this book. How long do I have to wait to get this? It's April of 2023. Oh, rip my heart out.
I know it is a little bit. I put that out there because with the first book, it took a little longer than I anticipated to get it to everyone. My artist and letterer were both going through some kind of life crises at the same time. But I think we'll have everything done a lot quicker this time around. And I don't even see it really coming out in April. I see it coming out faster than that, but I wanted to put that on there just for cushion, just in case.
Yeah. Over promise and no, under promise and over deliver. Yeah, there we go. I
Yeah.
almost said it wrong.
Right.
Um, but anyway, thank you so much for bringing Manchild onto the show tonight. Do appreciate getting a chance to see it and show it to our viewership here. If you were watching this and you decided that you wanted this, yes, the link was right below the video. And if you're watching it later, I know it's now to you, it's later to me. It's still right below the video. Just click the link. The video will continue to play, open up in a new window. Pick your perk while you listen to us talk about this series. It won't stop the show at all. So let us not stop you from doing that. Folks in the chat, we appreciate you being here so much tonight. We don't have a show without you being here. We're just a podcast falling in the woods. And with that, while you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night, everybody.